let's get started. So this pasta bolognese, always a family favorite. For this, you will need the gourmet tomato soup that I've got there, 1 serving, that's 32 grams of that. And you'll need 12 grams, 2 servings of PPP. And you'll also need another 2 servings of PPP for the Caesar salad dressing. Okay, I'm going to begin. I've got a nice wide pan here, and I'm just going to put on the heat. There. And add in just a very small drizzle of olive oil. I like to use an extra virgin olive oil. There. And just warm that up a little bit. And then I'm going to add in mince, and I've got 250 grams of beef mince. Of course, you can change the meat if you wish. Some people like to use half beef, half pork. I'm using all beef for this. But if you want to make this vegetarian, use soy mince, like TVP, texture vegetable protein. That works really well in here. Okay, once that heats up a little bit, then add in the mince and just kind of break it up a little bit like this, because I want it to change color before I add in the vegetables. This is a recipe that works so well while everyone's at home, especially at a time like this. Family favorite. There. You can make one big batch of it, you can freeze it in little bits if you like, or it'll keep in the fridge for a few days too. It can be turned into a lasagna at another stage. There. Okay. Or even covered with a mashed potato for a shepherd's pie type thing. There. So just while the mince is browning, I want to show you I've got my vegetables. I've got onion, I've got celery, and I've got diced carrot. I like to dice them all really finely. Some people like to grate them in. That means, you know, if you have children maybe who are fussy eaters and don't like to see the vegetables, if you grate the vegetables in, they'll just kind of disintegrate through the meat, and that can work quite well too. So I'm going to grate finely the clove of garlic. And I love the base flavor that the garlic gives. There. I'll put that bit in. And there. Perfect. Okay, I'll use that for the dressing later. And don't forget, any of these recipes that I have been making and many more are available in the book. And so, I just want to change the colour of the mince. I really find that this helps to give you lovely tender mince. If you cook it until it all changes colour before adding the vegetables. There. Nearly there. Okay, it's starting to lose its pink colour. That's good now. So, once it loses its pink colour, then I can go ahead and add in the vegetables. The onions and the garlic. The celery, really finely diced, as you can see, and the carrots. So one of each basically, 1 onion, 1 carrot, and 1 large stick of celery, or a couple of small ones. There. So stir this around. Another tiny drizzle of olive oil. Tiny. There. Turn the heat down. And let this cook for about anywhere between really 8 to 12 minutes until the vegetables have softened. Okay, so while the vegetables are cooking with the mince there, I'm going to carry on and make the dressing for the Caesar salad. This is a classic salad created apparently by a chef, Caesar Cardini, in the States in the mid-1900s. And it's a really good creamy dressing that tastes incredibly rich and divine. Yet, yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so what I've got here is I need an egg yolk. I'm going to add in to the egg yolk before I make the sauce half a tin of anchovies chopped. Okay, so the anchovies are chopped really nice and finely. And the anchovies bring the Caesar salad a really gorgeous, of course, salty hit. If you want this to be vegetarian, leave out the anchovies and just maybe put an extra bit of garlic or a bit of extra Worcestershire sauce in. So pop the anchovies into this bowl. Okay. And then add 1 egg yolk. So the white you can put aside, whoops, for another day. There you go. You can make some little meringues. And then I'm going to put into this as well about half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, quarter, half, whatever you like, even more if you wish. Nice little hit of Dijon. I'm going to put some garlic in here. I like to grate the garlic. I love these kind of graters where it just goes in tiny little pieces. That's good. And then I'm also going to put in 100 mils of extra virgin olive oil, but put that in towards the end. Tablespoon of lemon juice. There. And a little bit of Worcestershire sauce and some Tabasco for a little heat. The Tabasco isn't going to make this sauce actually hot, it just gives you a little nice little backup heat. Okay, so I'm going to whisk all this and then add the olive oil in. I find a good little tip actually is to put the bowl on a tea towel to keep it gripped, and then it'll stop it spinning around and around while you're whisking it. So you're basically making a mayonnaise, and that's exactly as the bowl spins around. And this is, Caesar salad is a variation on a classic mayonnaise. Extra virgin olive oil here has great flavor and goodness. So you want to just drizzle it in. You can use an electric hand beater if you like, or a food processor, but it's got a small amount, you can just make it by hand quite easily. So it'll get quite thick and creamy in a little bit. And then I'm going to put also in 12 grams, 2 servings of PPP, personalized protein powder. So, as I'm getting to the end of the oil, the olive oil, you can see that the mixture's got something thick and creamy, gorgeous. And this makes a lot of dressing. You know, this would feed easily about, I think I'd have Caesar salad for about 10 to 12 people. Keep it in the fridge for a few days perfectly and just eat it over the few days. Okay. I'm going to add in now the 12 grams of PPP. Two servings there. And if it gets a little bit thick at this stage, then I've got a little bit of water to add in. But the Caesar salad dressing needs to be a bit thick. You want it to cling to the leaves. I'm going to add a tiny drizzle of water. I can always add some more later if it's got thicker. When I'm ready to serve. Okay, that is that. So, put that there, my little makeshift studio, and put that there. Now I'm going to put the pasta on to cook. I've got a pot of boiling water with some salt in it here. Hot. And I've got here a spelt pasta. You could use whole grain pasta, or you could use just regular plain pasta. But to get some more complex carbs in, good idea to use whole grain, or spelt is really good as well, quite easily digestible. So, put it in. That's probably plenty, just for this. And then, pop the lid on. I'm going to bring this up to the boil and let it cook. Then come back to the Bolognese sauce in here. Oh, that's good now. You can see the vegetables are lovely, nice and tender at this point. That's been cooking while I made the Caesar salad dressing and put the pasta on. So now I'm going to go ahead with this. I'm going to put in the tomatoes, there, or whole tomatoes that you've chopped. Fantastic. And I'm going to put in the gourmet tomato soup. So you want 1 serving, 32 grams of this. That is that. And then 2 servings, 12 grams of PPP. Okay, and I've got some hot water over here. I'm going to add it in. Might need to whisk it because it tends to get thick and a little bit lumpy. So, pour now the gourmet tomato soup, the PPP and the water into the pasta mixture. There. Stir this around. I'm going to turn that heat up a little bit. And now I'm also going to add in some, you can use, this is a gluten-free soy sauce. You can use tamari, which is a type of fermented soy sauce, which happens to be gluten-free as well, or just regular soy sauce. And this, of course, is going to give it a lovely little salty note. There. Okay, now I just need to let that bubble a little bit and cook before I add the herbs in. But I think at this stage, the pasta is cooked. Fantastic. Okay, so drain the pasta and keep hold of a little bit of the cooking water like that. Don't drain every single bit from it. A lot of people make the mistake of adding in lots of oil after you've drained the pasta to stop it from sticking, but that just makes it a little bit slippy and slimy, so it's a little bit of the cooking water that you need because that has the right amount of starch and flavour in it. So that's the pasta ready, that's just waiting. Here's the sauce. I'm just going to taste this. I'm going to chop some herbs. See how it is for seasoning. Add some more soy sauce if it needs it. Okay, so I'm going to, look what's in season at the moment, wild garlic. There. So if you have any of this growing in your garden or growing near you, it's also known as ramsum, there. Allium ursinum is the name for it, but I'm going to use this instead of parsley. Normally I add in parsley and rosemary or thyme, but I'm going to use some wild garlic with some rosemary for a lovely little seasonal fresh herb touch. There. Okay. I think that's actually probably plenty. So, a good chopping knife is invaluable when cooking in the kitchen. It allows you to chop like this. You see, with your fingers stretched out, and then chopping herbs really well. If you can just get a few little handy kitchen tips, this is now your time. If you find yourself at home cooking 3 times a day, not being able to go out to work, having to feed your housemates, your family, then try and get some little kitchen skills under your belt. And chopping herbs like this is just brilliant, or onions, lots of little things to chop like this. There. And then also having your little army or your arsenal of your Herbalife products to add your extra bit of protein that you want to add into your food. So whether it's your gourmet tomato soup or your PPP, I've got some of my favorites here, the smooth chocolate. There, that's one of the new ones, which really has that lovely silky smoothness, you know, just even to add into your milk or your smoothie in the morning or anytime. Okay, that's it. Herbs chopped. I'm going to keep some just for scattering over the top. The sauce at this stage has thickened. This is what you're looking for. Can you see how it's thickened? Like that. And that is ready. Okay, give it one last taste. Let's turn it off. Delicious. Okay, so now what I need is my cos leaves for Caesar salad. Yeah, I like that. Kind of slightly thick, drizzling consistency. There. You can toss the leaves or just drizzle. There. Of course, you can serve this as the base for a nice light lunch or supper with some salmon, some tuna, some chicken. Of course, you can sprinkle some croutons over the top. I've just got a little bit of Parmesan cheese I can scatter over. So there's my Caesar salad. Oh, look, maybe a few wild garlic flowers. They're edible, of course. Delicious. There. And then I have got here the pasta. So I'm just going to put some sauce in with the pasta. Oh, a little bit more. Okay, that's lunch sorted. I've got far too much here. There. And then over this, some herbs, a little bit of Parmesan. Oh, and why not a few little wild garlic leaves. And there we go. That is week 5 of my Herbalife Nutrition cook-along. That is pasta bolognese, Caesar salad with really good cos lettuce and your delicious, delicious dressing. So both of these using the PPP, and then the bolognese sauce for the pasta using also gourmet tomato soup. So, and that's it for this week. Looking forward to cooking along with lots of you next.